This is Living Hebrew, Selah,
where we present a brief scriptural topic for you to ponder on.
In this episode, we consider
Birthday celebrations. In modern culture, celebrating a birthday is an essential part of life, and this stems from deep-rooted traditions that have their origin in various ancient cultures throughout the world. But as servants of Yah, are we to practice this custom?
And is it according to Yah's law?
Even among secular scholars, the very first birthday celebration cited is that of a pharaoh, and it is recorded in the book of Genesis.
On the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants, and lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants.
Genesis 40, verse 20. The truth is, all the birthday celebrations in Scripture surround a secular ruler or individuals given to idolatry. No servant of Yah is mentioned as celebrating a birthday in Scripture, and each birthday mentioned is fraught with danger and a negative outcome. But as to that first record of Pharaoh's birthday, this is what the Huffington Post had to say.
Egyptians started the party. When pharaohs were crowned in ancient Egypt, they were considered to have transformed into deities. This divine promotion made their coronation date much more important than their birth into the world. Scholars have pointed to the Bible's reference of a pharaoh's birthday as the earliest known mention of a birthday celebration, around 3000 BCE. But Egyptologist Dr. James Hoffmeyer believes this is referenced in the subject's coronation date, since that would have been the pharaoh's birth as a deity.
Borrowing from the Egyptians, celebrating birthdays became the standard practice of the nobility of various realms. In fact, for a time, only the nobility could afford to celebrate such a thing. But on occasion, they invited commoners, like the townspeople, to join in the celebration. In their research, some historians have found that the wearing of crowns at modern birthday parties originated with ancient celebration customs among the nobility. We even see this practice of nobles celebrating birthdays in the Messianic writings, where Herod seizes an opportunity to put John the Immerser to death.
But an opportunity came when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his nobles and military commanders and the leading men of Galilee.
Mark 6, verse 21. Early Christians also viewed birthdays as a pagan custom and did not celebrate them. They would later adopt the custom around the 4th century, in hopes, as the Huffington Post writes,
of recruiting those already celebrating the Roman holiday of Saturnalia.
The Greeks and Romans also influenced world culture in its celebration of birthdays. Beth Herman of Farmer's Almanac writes,
History of birthdays. The Greeks later expanded upon the celebration theme by placing candles on moon-shaped honey cakes made for the lunar goddess Artemis. Lighted candles signaled a prayer was being sent. As for blowing out the candles, the Greeks believed rising smoke took one's prayers and wishes up to the sky, where the deities lived. In Europe, birthday candles were often kept burning all day, both to celebrate and ward off evil spirits.
This explains the custom of blowing out candles to this day. Sarah Bond, a former Forbes.com contributor, wrote this of ancient Roman birthday celebrations.
The history of the birthday and the Roman calendar. Like many civilizations, Romans enjoyed celebrating the start of things, called a dies natalis, birthday. Temples, cities, and people were often remembered for their days of birth. All this in a society where a baby living past a year old was quite an accomplishment. As Catherine Argetsinger has written, the birthday in the Roman mindset was much closer to a cultic religious celebration than it is today, predominantly because each person had a genius, a tutelary spirit that they sacrificed to on their day of birth. This deity protected an individual for the year, and thus there was a re-up of that protection annually through the performance of a sacrifice.
Sarabon goes on to say in the article that birthday parties were a mix of religion and friendship that included animal sacrifices and the burning of incense. In addition, ritual cakes were baked and eaten, and white robes were worn by the party guests. At any rate, that word genius, which Sarabon said each Roman person believed they had, will surprise some of you. What genius meant in Roman times is not what it means today. The etymology of the word genius links it to ancient Latin and means a special guardian spirit. Merriam-Webster's Word Central Online Dictionary includes the following in its genius entry.
Word history. The ancient Romans believed in special beings or spirits that were not deities or humans, but something in between. They believed that from birth, each person had one of these spirits to act as a protector. The Latin name for this spirit was genius, which came from geniere, meaning to be the father of, beget. This sense came into English in the early 15th century. Part of such a genius's role was to protect a person's moral character. From this idea in the 16th century came the sense of genius, meaning an identifying character. This led to the sense of a marked aptitude. In time, genius came to mean very great intellectual power, and to be applied to people who have such power.
Simply wishing someone happy birthday was a way of ancient societies holding to superstitions, because the wish was meant to protect a person from evil spirits. The same is true for giving birthday bumps, pinches, and the like. These were meant to bring one good luck and send away the same bad spirits. As for loud party props like horns, snappers, and the usual noisemakers, evil spirits supposedly didn't care for those either.
Essentially, birthday celebrations are deeply rooted in paganism.
As time passed, each successive secular generation added to the customs of birthday celebrations, and in Germany, certain customs they adopted shaped the most modern ones throughout the world. It was the Germans who centered the celebration on their children, or Kinder, to use a German designation, from which the word kindergarten is derived. German birthday parties saw children receiving gifts and choosing menus, and a special butter and jam cake was presented, festooned with candles numbering the child's age. Of course, as European immigrants traveled to America and other countries, they brought their customs and traditions with them, and so international cultures adopted these birthday practices. But in Hebrew culture, birthdays were not celebrated. In fact, one of our wisdom books records,
"A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of birth."
Ecclesiastes 7, verse 1. Selah.